Welcome to UFO Headline News with me, Heidi Hollis. Today is Saturday, December 23rd, 2017. 2 days before Christmas. My favorite time of year, to be honest. But the weather stinks. It's freezing out. But I want to welcome you guys to UFO Headline News. And I've had to say here that the response and feedback in regards to my commentary about the Pentagon releasing the fact that they have been investigating for years UFO encounters, UFO sightings, and all the above and in betweens. Harry Reid, Bigelow, the guy in charge of the program, Luis Elizondo, and also the comments that a certain Neil deGrasse Tyson made in regards to it, like it was nothing. And to be honest, I've heard mostly positive input from you guys, so I appreciate the support. And hey, I'm trying to represent your voice out there. So if I can, I will. Because UFOs have been going on for a super duper long time. A lot of people have lost a lot in regards to their personal sightings through no fault of their own. And to have our government finally step forward and say only 5 years have been investigating, we know about Project Blue Book and all the other harassment and different things that have gone on to witnesses. It's not that easy to just say 5 years. But they did, but at least they took a little baby step, and I'm doing a little two-finger clap. It'll be 5 fingers and a whole palm if they actually come fully forward and say, "Help us! We don't know what we're doing, and the aliens are talking, and we sold everybody down the river for parts for UFOs." Yeah, so that's why the abductions go on. That's my belief anyways. So anyways, yeah, so I'll try to keep it rolling here and give some commentary every once in a while on these things. Maybe we'll make it a habit. I don't know. We will see. I guess we'll just go with what we feel inspired to do. Alrighty, so blasting off. Oh, we're going to have a full show of UFO reports. Oh yeah. Why not? In lieu of the holidays and in lieu of the Pentagon spilling a couple of beans. UFO sighting in Culver City, California. This occurred December 13th, 2017. 2 circles connected by wing structure lighted for approximately 2 to 3 seconds. At approximately midnight, the witness states, I left the Marina del Rey Chevron gas station located on Lincoln Boulevard in Mindanao Way in Marina del Rey, southbound on Lincoln, on my way home to Manchester Avenue and Pershing Drive in Playa del Rey. That is a big sentence. When I reached Jefferson Boulevard, I turned right onto Jefferson, proceeding in a westerly direction, heading to Culver Boulevard. This now put me on the Ballona wetlands, which is quiet and dark, as there are no lights, buildings, homes, etc., as this is a wildlife preserve. Approximately a quarter mile while driving, I shut off my headlights, trying to adjust my instrumental panel lights. Almost immediately, I saw an object appear, light up, off to the right, about 400 to 500 feet altitude, approximately 600 feet or less from my vehicle. There was no perceivable sound whatsoever from said object. I immediately turned my headlights back on, and at that instant the object lights went out, and the object was no longer visible to me or my passenger. Note that my passenger's description of the object was a very large, bright white light, circular in shape. The duration of our observation was between 2 to 3 seconds. Later this day, I removed my memory chip from my Blackview DR650-1CH camera and found a partial visible light from the subject encounter. However, it did not fully show what I saw with my own eyes. I am sending you a copy of the recording, thinking that you have video equipment that can offer better details than I can on my home computer with basic Blackview software. I grew up in the flight path of Santa Monica Airport, completed ground flight school and some actual hours in flight. Have over 3 decades working in aerospace and have lived next to LAX for the past 8 years. This object was total foreign and unidentifiable to me. Does this not constitute what is commonly referred to as a UFO? I think so. Therefore, I am submitting pertinent excerpts from my car videos for analysis. I have to say here, I would give a big round of applause if to use certain words and people don't capitalize anything, run-on sentences, incomplete words. I am totally jabbing in the dark when I read these things. Just so you guys know, I feel like I have to say this all the time because I have these stop and goes, and I'm like, what is that? What did they just type there? There's not a capital I to save your life in that whole report. Just okay, moving on. Black Triangle sighting in San Antonio, Texas. This occurred December 13th, 2017. Lights in the shapes of two triangles with one extended light, in brief, they state. In more detail, the witness states, I set out a Nikon P900 camera looking at the sky, hoping to catch Gemini'd star trails. Using the time-lapse functions of the camera on December 13th, 2017. And this video is the result of observed lights appearing and stationary. The camera was facing about 75 degrees up from the east horizon at my home in San Antonio, Texas, 78220. I set it at approximately 3:30 a.m. and went to sleep. There are lights standing still in the video in the left top and bottom that just appeared, with two lines as the star trails are moving. To me, unexplainable. Okay. The star trails move, but not the lights that mysteriously appeared on the left. That's what they wrote. I noticed the lights after seeing the video I took. I am bewildered. This is a video clip available for your authentication and inspection anytime. Okay, moving on to the next report. UFO sighting in San Diego, California on December 12th, 2017. Disc-like oval luminary that kept changing colors and pulsating. In more detail, they state, I was at home and could see it outside my kitchen window. It looked like a large star at first, but more brilliant than usual. After looking through binoculars, the shape was more defined like an oval and sometimes appeared to have television-like stripes on the surface. It changed in color from blue to green to violet and bright red or orange. It appeared to pulsate or move rapidly because even when I took pictures with a very fast shutter speed, the object was never truly round. It was out there for a while. I just eventually went to bed. The next sighting. This occurred in Harrisburg, Illinois on September 17th of 2016. Something lit up my tent like the 4th of July when I was camping. I ran down by the lake and it was like I was frozen in fear. That's what they say in brief. In more detail, they say, I was at Glen O. Jones Campground. I was having a weekend camp out. It was around 3 a.m. or so. You guys notice this pattern, 3 a.m. And I was asleep in my tent. Suddenly, a big group of extremely bright and colorful lights were casted right through my tent. Bigfoot had a flashlight. And because it was so bright, I woke up and thought to myself, what the heck is this? I quickly got out of my tent and went down by the lake to see what I could see. I walked down to the lake expecting to see something ordinary like an airplane or helicopter or maybe a blimp, etc. 3 in the morning. However, when I looked up in the sky, what I saw put me in shock. I was frozen right where I was standing, just gazing up at this bizarre sphere-looking aircraft. It was the kind of staring like a deer in headlights. I couldn't even begin to fathom it. First thing I thought was, there is no way that this could be a UFO. Could it? Sweet, question your eyeballs as it's happening. It was huge. I would say probably the size of a football field at least. It had a dome-shaped top and had I don't know how many windows. It was casting down a bright beam of light right from underneath it. It has these red lights that sort of pulsated and flashed almost like every 10 seconds. It was hovering still, just barely above the tree lines on the south side of the lake. After many a minutes of staring, basically traumatized, I decided to slowly get my phone out and snap a picture before it disappeared. And I also thought to myself, it would be great to have solid proof. So I got my phone out and began to snap a picture, but when I did, this thing sped off into the sky. I mean, it was gone before I could blink an eye. And it was very bizarre how it managed to disappear so quickly without making a sound. Well, after trying to capture a picture, I looked at the photo I had taken, just hoping I had maybe caught the tail end of this thing. And there was nothing. The picture was just a blur. Another thing that baffled me about why did this thing instantly vanish when I held my phone up to get a picture? Coincidental? Or maybe who or whatever was flying this thing knew what I was trying to do. It was like the operator of this aircraft knew I was trying to get proof of my discovery. You discovered UFOs? Well, after this thing took off, I was too in shock and frightened to stay for the rest of the night. I understand. So I packed up and left in a hurry. I went home and told my family and friends about my experience, and of course, they laughed in my face, asking me if I was drunk or on something. Yeah, Pentagon, see? This is what people go through. Yeah, thanks for keeping that secret. However, I went out to the lake during the day and spoke to a few normal campers in that area and told them about what I saw and tried to describe it without coming out and saying precisely the word UFO. But each one of them said, it was probably a UFO. We've seen a few of them out here on many occasions. Anyways, that's my experience. I've told many of people about it, and they all just laughed and didn't believe me. But I know what I saw, and I'll take it to my grave. Go with it. Go with it. That's wonderful. Whew, but question your eyeballs as you're seeing something? Happens to a lot of people, but I don't know. Yeah, Pentagon. Yeah. Okay. Moving on to the next UFO sighting. This happened in Capstick, Nova Scotia, on September 23rd of 2017. Brightest light in the sky by far, moved erratically, blinked and lasted over 1 hour. In more detail, they go on to say, I believe I already sent this sighting in. Did you? However, I unfortunately cannot find any evidence of this record being sent. Record? Okay. I was initially skeptical of UFOs until I saw this. I took some video on my phone, but the quality is terrible. However, after watching various MUFON videos, my boyfriend and I are convinced we saw the same thing, or something similar. It was on the northern tip of Cape Breton. No land anywhere around, but a sparsely populated island miles offshore. The duration of the viewing was over an hour and a half, and is also how we decided it was not an airplane, satellite, lantern, drone, etc. I have attached the videos, though the orb is doing difficult to detect you can spot.
When we go out to eat, we never agree on where to go.
I want burgers! Pizza.
Tacos it is.
The one thing we do agree on is we all want unlimited high-speed data. That's why we switched to Metro PCS.
Stop by Metro PCS with the whole family and get 4 lines with unlimited LTE data for just $100, period. Metro PCS. Wireless. Figured out.
Coverage not available in some areas. Offers require port of number not currently active on T-Mobile network. During congestion, the fraction of customers using more than 35 gigs per month may notice reduced speeds. Video streams at up to 40p. No tethering. See store for details and terms and conditions.
But I am just reading. I'm just reading these things. Not a capitalized sentence to save your life in any of this. I'm telling you. I don't know. I guess the English language should no longer be mastered. That's all I'm going to say. No, it's not. The next UFO sighting occurred in Oklahoma, July 10th, 2017. People learn the language. And they just say, in brief, 3 crafts. In more detail, they state, we were traveling south on a country road, and I looked out and noticed a weird-looking craft in the air, so we pulled over. As soon as we stopped and got out, my friend then noticed that there were actually 3 of them. They appeared to be floating approximately 200 feet or so above us. They seemed only large enough to carry only one individual. There were no blades or other propellers to indicate they were anything other than off-world, or if from Earth, they used a technology that we were unfamiliar with. They made 0 noise and traveled directly over our heads. They were white, and it looked as if there was some kind of skeletal framework surrounding the outside of the crafts. We gave chase, but quickly lost them as they blended into the sky background. My cell phone would not focus on the crafts, or I would have had a great photo. I've never heard of single-passenger UFOs and was curious if there have been any other sightings such as this. Yes, there have. Yes, there have. Small ones. Yep. Oh, and Neil deGrasse Tyson, he was demanding, hey, take a great HD photo of these things, and then he'll know, and the world will know that UFOs are truly, truly real. And you'll be rich and all this stuff. But you hear how these UFOs take off in an instant when you go to reach for your phone, or you turn your head and you look back and it's gone, or your phone, they're not masters of zooming in on things that kind of can blend in and out and kind of wave around and do odd movements. So, hey, Mr. Tyson, why not develop the right kind of cell phone to do that? So all these people could get rich off from these many, many UFO sightings going on. I'm terrible. All right. Next UFO sighting. Black Triangle sighting in Cambridge, Ontario. This occurred December 12th, 2017. Stationary triangle-shaped fuzzy cloud. Other lower altitude regular clouds moving. They say that in brief. In more detail, like a whole sentence in detail, went out for a smoke, and I noticed the stationary triangle-shaped fuzzy cloud and other lower altitude regular clouds were moving. I stayed for 5 minutes to observe it. No movement or change of its shape. Then I went back inside. The end. The next UFO sighting. This took place in Weber County, Utah. This is a little UFO blast from the past, June 30th, 2015. In brief, they state, beam bright green on top of LDS church. Saw entity in the hospital a few days later. Approximately 1 week of interaction. Ooh, this is getting juicy. In more detail, the witness states, meditating in a house next to a church. Then I had certain visuals come through of grays talking to me, talking about my blood and DNA. I first noticed tapping on the glass of the window. My ex-husband and I both went outside. That is when the being appeared on the LDS church. I automatically knew it was other beings because I had been receiving mental telekinesis like messages. I remember hearing in the field behind the barn, almost like radio static all around. I was very excited to have this going on until I started seeing shadows and other interactions in the home. I remember glowing blue faces appeared right outside the bedroom. I felt as though I was directed to go onto, and I am not kidding you, half HAFB. What is that? I don't know. To go onto half. I, for some reason, threw my keys in the trash. I was next to the flight command center. It was a Sunday. That is what they put. I brought my dog with me through the building. Later, base police called my family because a family member happens to work there on base to come get me and the animal. I was taken to the hospital. Okay, hold on. Let's back that up. I, for some reason, threw my keys in the trash can. I was next on the flight command center. It was a Sunday. I don't get it. So, brought my dog with me through the building. Later, base police called my family because a family member happens to work there on base to come get me and the animal. I was taken to the hospital. I was trying to describe to them along the way, of course. It didn't make sense to them. I was hospitalized for 9 days on meds. When I came more aware of my surroundings on day 6, a very tall, gray-looking entity came into my hospital room. When I got up to walk towards it, or her, as it felt, it vanished. Oh boy, English. After the hospital, I did see a very large ship, about 4 or 5 houses long, appear in the clouds and disappear as I got closer. The doctor tried to diagnose me with schizophrenia, then told me, no, I don't think it's that. I think it's something else. I was just barely finishing my 6 or 8 year contract with the military. P.S. While I was on Dugway Proving Grounds, I did see orange balls of light in the distance during a training, moving very far and fast from left or right, as well as shooting straight up and slowly coming back down months prior to the event. Due to the times of the sitting, I was not able to capture any photos or videos. There are more details, but these are the best key points I could get across. I have a book that I wrote during the event that I'm unsure that it will help. If you want to get your point across, everybody, take your time in filling out these things. So, spell check, periods, spaces, paragraphs, and do your best because we're reading this and we're hearing this and it's getting reported on shows like this one. And we don't get what you meant. About half of that. Yeah, about half. The next, I mean, it's sad. I want to know. I want to know the details. Take your time. Write the details. It's important. The Pentagon is watching. This next UFO sighting. This occurred in Edmonton, Alberta, on December 14th, 2017. In brief, the witness states, UFO revolving clockwise from vertical cylinders. In more detail, they state, bright UFO revolving clockwise with vertical cylinders. December 8th and December 14th sightings in same location. Accompanied off and on with 3 surrounding smaller UFOs, all on video. Then they post the link. Most recent is here. They post the link. Was watching TV when noticed an unusually bright object out patio window. A small colorful object was active just beneath it. When I first noticed it, I felt and continued feeling some kind of presence associated with it, drawing me to investigate further. So I went to get my Sony HD 60X video camera. I stopped filming it when the camera HD drive was full. On these videos, it should have been mentioned the main UFO with vertical cylinders would advance brighter, then recede somewhat. It gives the mistaken impression the camera is focusing in and out, but that wasn't the case. December 14th sighting is here, and they post the link. Several hours later at 3:30 p.m. Mountain Time, where this sighting had been 14 hours before, there was now a white circle of cloud in very same location with several same size, small, and bright white dots on the larger white circle. The rest of the cloud cover was fairly dark. I did take video of this, but not yet on YouTube. I strongly suspected it may be directly related to the large UFO with vertical cylinders. The next UFO sighting occurred in Redding, California on December 13th, 2017. In brief, they describe two triangles traveling together, staggered. Three white lights each appeared dark bodies, then separated, flying one south, one east. In more detail, they state, we were sitting in our hot tub on a clear night, December 13th, 2017. My wife said, "Look, two triangles." I was surprised at first and at her statement, as she was very surprised. It was about 8:30 p.m. I looked straight up and saw two triangular aircraft flying slowly, very close to each other, in a staggered pattern heading south, each with three very white lights forming a triangle with a very faint outline of a triangular body. I would guess an altitude of 10 to 15,000 feet. We are in the flight path of commercial jets flying through California. Compared to what we normally see size-wise of jets, these two crafts were twice the size of a commercial jet based on their normal altitude. Both were very vivid. The white lights were unlike normal commercial aircraft. Occasionally, we could see a random white light flash, but very randomly. No colored navigation lights like normal commercial aircraft. No sounds noted. After about 15 seconds, they separated with one gradually fading east while the other continued heading south. We watched both for about 4 minutes as they faded into the eastern and southern horizon. I'm not sure what they were, but they were not normal by any means. The whiteness of the lights were very bright, similar to small white LED lights. The closeness of them flying together and the distance between them was equal to their size. The next UFO sighting occurred in Pleasant View, Tennessee. This is a UFO blast from the past. June 3rd, 2007, and in detail they say, first sighting in 1996. Huge red glowing ball flew directly over house, chased by a Black Hawk helicopter from Fort Campbell, Kentucky. Oh no, see, that couldn't happen because, see, the Pentagon just said only the past 5 years they've been investigating. This is 2007, like that was 10 years ago. So nobody was looking into this. Pfft, bunch of crap. Okay, continuing. The ball was acting like it was playing with the helicopter. That's good. We moved to Pleasant View 2 years later, and we have no trees, open space. We have seen several objects since. Twice the ball was close enough to send a large beam of light. It's as if it saw us on our back porch in the hot tub. Another hot tub. It flashed the beam 4 times. My husband never believed in UFOs. Now we both look for them. Several times I have seen small shadows in my bedroom. He said he's seen several also. No sound from any of them. I thought it was a ghost in my home. I don't know what to think. I will tell you what to think. Shadow people. I have always associated them with aliens and UFOs. Always. That is not a coincidence. Some people see these things right alongside of them. Right alongside of the aliens. These shadow people. Hat Man. All of it. It's all connected, everybody. It's all connected. Well, we've come to the bottom of another very cool episode of UFO Headline News. Thank you for listening with me, Heidi Hollis, and be sure to check out UFOHeadlineNews.com every day. And if you have had a UFO sighting, feel free to share it with us. And also tune into my other weekly shows. I host the Outlander Show on Fridays and co-host on the Kevin Cook Show. Both shows are at 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. And catch my paranormal comic strip, The Outlanders. Direct links to everything can be found at HeidiHollis.com or just come to InceptionRadioNetwork.com. Remember always to keep an open mind so you can stay informed and inspired. Don't believe the Pentagon. Good night.
When we go out to eat, we never agree on where to go.
I want burgers. Pizza.
Tacos it is.
The one thing we do agree on is we all want unlimited high-speed data. That's why we switched to Metro PCS.
Stop by Metro PCS with the whole family and get 4 lines with unlimited LTE data for just $100, period. Metro PCS. Wireless. Figured out.
Coverage not available in some areas. Offers require port and of number not currently active on T-Mobile network. During congestion, the fraction of customers using more than 35 gigs per month may notice reduced speeds. Video streams at up to 40p. No tethering. See store for details and terms and